I like to think that I am enthusiastically contributing to the beverage aesthetic. I make Pinot Noir and Chardonnay because I like to drink Pinot Noir and Chardonnay. And if you don't sell it, you're going to end up drinking it. In the Santa Cruz Mountains, we have the acid, the structural components. I feel really lucky that the kinds of wines that I absolutely love drinking most are what grows all around my house.
He's one of those guys you just meet and immediately get along great. Slowly but surely, he's become one of the more famous winemakers around our area.
There's a real trust bond between a producer and the consumer that buys it. I don't want to let him down. So, I'm very, very meticulous about how I make the wines. The vineyard is known for earthiness, and you want to let the terroir shine, but you don't want it to be off-putting. Maybe use a fruit-forward yeast in one of the 3 fermenters for that vineyard, and bring some fruit out so that it comes into balance. Because at the end of the day, a good wine, it's all about balance. I grew up between Pescadero and Santa Cruz. My great-grandfather, Sante Arcangeli, came here from San Francisco. He realized that the town could use grocery and bread. My brother owns the bakery now. It's in its 5th generation. When I started the winery, I wanted to do it in the family name, just to honor my great-grandfather and all the people that gave me the tools to be able to do what I'm doing. I've always loved the expressions that come out of this vineyard. The wines can be full and earthy and savory. They're really known for like a herbe de Provence.
When you look at the vineyard, you're only looking at the top half. The native biology that's in the soil is part of what affects the flavors of the fruit.
Oh, I love working with Prudy. I mean, she's incredibly knowledgeable.
John's been really great at coming out and tasting more than really the other winemakers do.
Usually you have to schedule a harvest like a week in advance. I mean, you're going to take your whole allotment in one day. I can talk with Prudy in the morning, and that day we can maybe pick 2 boxes of something that's just in its perfect place. And we arrive at that decision together. She's a big part of my process.
It's not a fight between who's the winemaker and who's the grower and who's more important. They're both really important. John's a great representation of that journey from the vineyard to the wine.
He's made more wines out of this vineyard than anybody else. I think that reflects on the quality of the wine that he's making. I think the very first wine he made for us, he got a 96 on at Wine Enthusiast.
We have 2 kinds of tasting rooms. So we have the urban tasting room in Aptos. The other one is a 140-year-old barn in Pescadero. We want people to be on a comfy couch and be able to sit for an hour, 2 hours with the cheese that's made here on site by D. Harley and just have that full culinary experience. I had been working to open that space in Aptos for about a year. My wife, who was extremely fit and healthy, she started developing a little pain in her side. A couple weeks later, she started coughing and it wouldn't go away. I took her to the hospital and they were treating her for pneumonia. And then we learned 2 weeks, 3 weeks into her hospital stay that it was cancer and it was stage 4. And I was just there, everything stopped. The community in Corralitos and Aptos, a bunch of volunteers stepped up and they opened my tasting room. They hired staff. A lot of the people I'd never met that were volunteering, they just did. And she passed away just about 5 weeks after she first had symptoms, and I came back home, and when the dust all settled after a while, I showed up in Aptos one day, and it was open. And there were all these friendly, smiling faces there just throwing a big old party to welcome me back, and it made me feel really great about the place that I chose to call home. I love making wine. More than making it, I like sharing it with people and watching a room full of people smiling. So, know that it's an honest product. Don't take it too seriously. Don't take it so seriously that you're not going to be able to, dance with your wife. I didn't do it for money, I'll tell you that much. That would have been a dumbass decision.
That would have been a really bad idea.